Welcome to Swaggerslifestyle.
Hello, how you doing? Hope you're good. This is Gbogbo Swagger and welcome to Swaggerslifestyle. It's always amazing coming here to have conversations with you. If you're actually new to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit on the subscribe button. You would actually love it here. Trust me, no cap. Like, you would definitely love it here. Do you know that 8% of the world's mammal species can be found in Uganda? And for every tree that you cut down, you have to plant 3 more. Welcome to another series of A Nigeria Living In. Today, we are taking a trip to East Africa, to the beautiful country of Uganda. So I posted a video about A Nigeria Living in Kenya, and I got a lot of reactions on that video. And there was one particular comment that actually stood out for me. So someone said and commented that, oh, she would like to see us talk about Uganda. So I said, oh, okay, let's do this. So I went in search of someone that could actually, come share experience, the Uganda experience with us, and in Nigeria actually living in Uganda. And I actually found this amazing, I call her queen, she's a queen. So I found this amazing lady and I sent her a message and she's here with us. So I will just allow her to please introduce herself. Can we meet?
Hello guys, my name is Charlie. I am in Nigeria, like she said, living in Uganda. I just recently graduated from the Ugandan Christian University here. I have a bachelor's in nursing science. I'm also a YouTuber, and then I'm also a hairstylist.
Oh, thank you so much for honoring our invites and also for coming on the show today. And definitely, I'm actually going to tag her YouTube channel in the description box. So you all go subscribe, show her some love, and definitely, at the end of the day, we would definitely be happy. So let's go straight into the conversation. How did you relocate to Uganda and why Uganda?
Oh, well, I think I get this question a lot. And I think every time I tell people, they don't believe me. Because I came to Uganda after applying for admission in Nigeria for a couple of years and I didn't get. And so I had written the last year that I wrote JAM. My mom was like, you know what? If you write your JAM, your post-UTME and every other exams and you pass and they still don't give you admission, then I will let you apply for admission outside Nigeria. And I really didn't want to go to Ghana then because I had a lot of friends that were going to Ghana. And I was like, you know what? I can't go to Ghana and just leave my community and go and meet the same people. I just felt like I wasn't going to grow. So I actually went online and Googled schools in East Africa. That was literally how I came to Uganda. I didn't know anyone. I'd never been there. And after I did my Googling and my research, I went to my mom and was like, you know what? This is a school. This is the school. This is the country I want to go to. So yeah, that was how I actually came to Uganda. It was schooling that brought me to Uganda.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned that you did not know anyone. So how was settling down for you?
Really, it has been amazing actually. It wasn't hard because Nigerians now, we are everywhere. Exactly. So when I went to Nigeria, actually my roommate, when I came to Uganda rather, my roommate back then was Nigerian. We also came the same time. So I had a community of Nigerian students that were also here. So it wasn't a big deal at all. I never felt actually, for a long period of time, I was only surrounding myself with just Nigerians. So adjusting was not hard at all. It was scary, of course, because I'd never left home back then. And then I left Nigeria to come to Uganda alone. And so I didn't know what to expect. But for the most part, it was really amazing. And the people are so hospitable and so welcoming. So I didn't have an issue with that.
Oh, that's nice. So how long have you spent how long have you been living in Uganda? And you talked about, going for school. So how was the application process? And are you allowed to work as a student?
Application process was really easy. I think that's one of the things I love about Uganda. It's as long as you have your qualifications and you can afford it, then you can come to school. So applying was really easy. And then the university because I had to change universities. First of all, let me answer the first question. I've been here for almost 7.5 years. So I've been here for a while. Yeah.
Wow.
I had to, so the first university I came to, it was so easy because they had agents back in Nigeria. And so Yeah, I
Okay.
literally got my admission. Like my mom went to the office, applied for me, and came back with my admission letter because they were open for application and admission back then. So it was just very easy. Like their system is very easy, and so yeah, coming to
Mm.
Uganda was not hard. And then like getting your visa and other stuff. As soon as, like I said, you have all your papers, you have your credentials. There's nothing like you won't have an issue with
Mm.
like coming to Uganda.
Wow, that's good. So 7 years, definitely you've actually integrated into the system. Now, so as a student, were you allowed to work?
Okay, it's not. I never really thought of that because it's like also their system is kind of similar to Nigeria, whereby you don't really get that opportunity to say, "Oh, I'll work." It's not like when you're in Europe or in the US, whereby you can get that
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, yeah,
But like I know a lot
yeah.
of Nigerians and other people from other parts of Africa that are schooling in Uganda, and they're into businesses because that was also
Mm.
what I ventured into when I came here. And as long as you know what you are doing,
Mm.
yeah, like you'll be successful in that area. I made hair my whole year in school, and yes, it
Wow.
was it was really okay. So it just depends on um how determined you are. That's just yeah. But as long as you have the skills or you know what you're doing, like I said, people are willing to come and they'll pay for it. So immediately I figured that out. I was like, okay, let me just go into that. But like I haven't personally seen anyone that came to Uganda and then got like a job, and then like it's working. No.
A job.
Yes.
Oh, I get you. Okay, so your name, I'm going to take you back. Your name is actually fascinating. So, what part of Nigeria are you
Yeah.
from?
So yes, I'm
The
from the
north?
northern part of Nigeria. But the Chatli is not really my name. Chatli is like more of, will I say like a stage name? Yes,
A grand
because
name.
my name is
Yeah.
Chatlia Abasia. So in high school, like I had a lot of people calling me
Oh,
Chatli. Like they would shorten the chat and yeah and call me Chatli.
wow.
So it's kind of stuck. Yes. So when I
Oh,
was
that's
looking
nice.
for a name to yes, I
You
just
just
picked
picked
it.
it.
But my name is Chatlia Abasia.
Thank
You're
you. Thank you
welcome.
so much for that. Thank you for sharing. Now, what is the staple food in
Hmm.
Uganda?
I would say matoke because they really love their matoke here in Uganda. And then yeah, matoke. They also like gnut a lot, and they're not like Nigerians, so they don't really do things like soup. You know how I would say soup. For them, it's more of like a sauce, like
Yeah.
okay, I call it watery, watery sauce because like they would have like meat and then like how you have pepper soup but without the pepper because a lot of them don't eat chili. So
Yeah.
just imagine pepper soup and then they will
Okay.
have it with like posho or ugali, depending on whatever you call it. Depending ugali that is in Swahili, in Uganda it's called posho, and
Okay.
it's maize flour, and that wasn't hard for me to adjust to
Mm.
because I'm from northern Nigeria and that's like something that we eat in northern Nigeria.
Yeah, it's like is it
It's
like
tuwo. It's
semo?
called tuwo in northern Nigeria. Yes,
Tuwo.
exactly. So
Okay.
they have it.
Okay. All right.
Yes, they
Tuwo
have it here, and
shikaki.
also I guess in Kenya, it's called ugali. Yeah. So
Ah.
it wasn't hard for me at all. Like the food in general, apart from the chili aspect,
Hmm.
but majorly like it's not bad. Yeah, it's just the chili aspect that. But now I have adjusted and I move with my chili when I'm going anywhere because I know I'm likely not to get chili.
Yeah, I think that's the signature for a lot of
Exactly.
Nigerians
Yeah.
living abroad. They go with
Yes.
their
And then
pepper.
also they like to eat meat a lot, so they like their pork. I don't eat pork, but like
Mm.
pork is like a thing in Uganda. Is a big deal for them in Uganda. So and then also pilau. They also love.
Hmm.
They also I think pilau is generally
Pilau.
in East Africa, but like they also like enjoy pilau here.
Okay.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
sharing. That's interesting. Because when you talk about food, diversity, it's just, diversity is always the spice of
Yes.
life, like I like to say. So when you get to hear the staple food of other countries, you just wonder, like, wow, so, food is
True. True.
food is food.
Ah.
And when you start to see different
Yes.
type
So.
of food, you just be like, okay, so what is this? I'm not used to this
Yeah.
and all of that. So once one is even adventurous, you could definitely try out different types of cultural or traditional food of different people in the world.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
sharing. So, what is the official language spoken in Uganda?
English. They are an English speaking country, but then they also speak okay, because now this can start because previous video of mine, I said something about Luganda. It's like one of the major languages, and people from other tribe like came at me. So they don't really speak Swahili as much as you would hear like if you were in West Africa, if you were in like sorry Tanzania or Kenya, but
Okay.
there is Swahili, but like they don't speak it as much as the other part of Africa. And so, but they have Swahili, then Luganda, and then of course when you go to different parts, like when you go to the north, they also have languages. Plus, I think they have about 41 different languages in Uganda. But I would say majorly, like when you are thinking of it, they
Wow.
speak English, Swahili, and Luganda.
Okay, so which of the two can you
Actually,
speak?
that's just the funny part. I can't speak any. As much as I've been here, as much as I have been here for yeah 7.5 years, I struggle with learning languages. But I hear certain things like I can greet, and yes, like greet and respond to certain things, but like speak a whole sentence or have a conversation, a full conversation with someone. That's something I haven't
Okay,
yet.
so let's try this.
Yeah.
So can you say either of the languages that you're probably maybe fluent in speaking a little bit? So can you say, "Hello, my name is XYZ. Welcome to Swagger's Lifestyle. Kindly like, subscribe, add comments."
Can I? Let me see. I really can't. Let me not butcher people's languages. I really can't. Like I actually centered learning the language when I'm speaking to like when you go to the market and like people can't really speak the language. So I'll be like Jebaliko Sebo or Jebaliko Inyabo, like well done Sebo, well done Inyabo. I understand like certain words like Django, like let's go or to Gende, um, and all that. Like just certain words that I can mix with English to get me through. But honestly speaking, I don't want to butcher their language. I really don't know.
Oh my days. So well, I understand, and then I would like to apologize because they are doing some little bit of construction work here, so you might be hearing some
Oh, it's
hitting
okay.
sound at
It's fine.
at this end. Just please, we're sorry about that, and please bear with us. So, well, I get the fact that you're talking about you not some people do not have like air for language, so it's understandable. And when you say that they actually speak
Yeah.
English a lot, so that means you can actually communicate, and there's no issue with that. So, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
That's true.
So, what is living in Uganda like? The weather, cost of living, accessibility. What's it like living in Uganda?
Oh well, I would say it depends on where you are. Um, like where exactly you are. In Kampala, it can tend to be like really expensive. But of course, when you start living, that's the capital city. But when you start living like away from Kampala, it's I would say it's almost the same with Nigeria. Um, and then also they do so well when it comes to food. Like they have a lot of food here, like fresh. They really believe in eating fresh and eating like fresh, using fresh ingredients to cook. So I would say like even eating in general is not that expensive in Uganda. Of course, except you want to go all fancy,
Okay.
but like you can actually get a well balanced meal
Mm.
at an affordable price. And I think one of the my favorite things about Uganda is their weather. I am in love with Ugandan weather. I always joke that it's bipolar because it can be raining one moment and the next moment the sun is completely out.
Wow.
Like in less than 10 minutes, you wouldn't even know that it was raining.
Mm.
And then it will be like really hot the next day. So their weather is really beautiful. Like actually, you can see it in their landscape. Like I think that's also one of the things I really love about Uganda. They have like beautiful trees and their landscape is just really beautiful. Like everywhere you go, like you know how in Nigeria most places you see like they have like paved. Their compound is well
Yeah.
paved and tiled and all that. In Uganda, they prefer like this and grass
Oh.
carpets So like in most compounds that I've gone
It's
to,
like
yes, like you can literally
nature
see like
themed.
yes,
Ah,
exactly. So they are
beautiful.
really into that. And like it's just really beautiful. It's like really a beautiful country. I think it's something that you would have to come to Uganda to be able to see it and understand like what when someone tells you like Uganda is truly the pearl of Africa.
Oh, I like that. Uganda is truly the pearl of Africa. Yeah, I actually came to Uganda in
Yeah.
2019. And, I visited, yeah,
Oh,
I did
that's
actually. I
interesting.
visited some places. And, well, we'll talk about it in the course of our conversation. But where do you
Hmm.
actually stay, or which of the cities do you reside in Uganda?
Okay, I stay. I think the district is still under
Okay.
Kampala, but I stay in Mukono. It's not very far from Kampala, but that's because that is where went to
Okay.
school. So I'm still yes around that area, and my guidance are in that area. I have guidance that are
Oh,
Ugandan, so uh, yeah, so I live with them
okay.
presently now that I'm done with school. So it's in Mukono, but like Mukono Kampala is just not far. I think it's like a 45 minutes
Okay.
drive
Wow.
just to Kampala. Yes, the Kampala city.
Thanks for sharing. So, what is the
You're
economy
welcome.
like in Uganda? The culture of the people? What's their currency? Can you shed more light about Uganda?
Well, yeah, they use shillings, Ugandan shillings. I think in East Africa in general, like the majority of them use shillings because we have like Tanzanian shillings, we have Kenyan shillings, and then Ugandan shillings. So they use shillings in economy. I think it's just similar to Nigeria. Like they they do everything. They do everything. Like you have people that are into
Mm-hmm.
businesses, you have people that are farmers, you have people that do your usual 9 to 5, and they're book people. That's one thing with them. Like Ugandans love school. I think that was one of the things I had to like adjust to because they can read. Like you, when we came, we're like, we have to upgrade it because you have like, f yes, they really like they don't play with their
They are
education.
learned
So
people.
for the most part, when we first came, like I remember the first set when we came and we saw how people were reading, we're like, okay, all right, some adjustment has to be done. So yeah, so you have like they're in different field walks of life. They do different things, just like how you would expect in it. I don't think there's any much difference in like just that they tend to be more calm than us. I'm very sure you've had that a lot compared to Nigerians, like because a lot of them complain that "Oh, Nigerians are very loud, they are more calm and more, reserved than a typical Nigerian." So yeah, that is one thing. That's just one thing about them.
Hmm. Okay, that's nice. Now, what were the cultural shocks that you experienced?
Oh yeah, cultural shock. Oh, I think mine might be subjective, but like you said, I'm from northern Nigeria and I grew up in northern Nigeria, and then I grew up like in like kind of how I grew up. My dressing had to be like conservative, and so leaving northern Nigeria and coming to Uganda where people don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a certain dresser, and my mouth will be open like the whole time. And I'm like, what is happening here? And I really had to adjust to that because like really people don't care. Like it's like people are just leaving. So you see someone putting on mesh top and then with their pink bra and they're just moving, and I'm just like and I'm like, what is happening here?
Whoa,
But yeah, and it's like people didn't really care, so I had to learn,
what
which really helped
happened?
me, like because now I know how to mind my business. When you're in Nigeria, it's like you have elders that everybody's in your business. Yeah, here you have to
Yeah,
they
yeah,
put you in
nosy,
your
nosy,
place.
nosy.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
it's a
can be very
nosy, it's
sarcastic
a
and like
nosy
they'll put you in
economy.
your place if you try to say anything. Or so I've learned to like mind your business and
Hmm.
just look and move on. So, and then also I think the food, I it took me 2 years actually to start eating Ugandan food because for me I am obsessed with eating chili. So when I came to Uganda and they told me, oh, they don't eat chili, I was like, you know what, I won't even bother, like I won't try. So it took me 2 years after being in Uganda in order for me to like actually eat their food for the first time. I think which was really bad of me because after I did, I was so ashamed. I actually am ashamed of telling people like how long it took me to try their food. But that was something, and I think it's because I came with the mindset of instead of when you're traveling, you can't pick what you're used to at home and try to compare it to a particular country. You have to be open-minded and try to learn, yes, about people
That's
and
true.
their culture. What is so different about them?
That's true.
When something is different than your culture, it doesn't mean it's wrong. You understand? But I didn't have that mindset, and I didn't have anybody to teach me back then. So
That's true.
moving there was like, like I'm like, oh, we don't do this, so I'm not going to do this. So that was something. And then we almost have like 24 hours power supply here, which was something I was so shocked because when I came, like anytime my phone is like
Wow.
90%, I'm running to like quickly go and charge. And people
Uganda.
are looking at me like, but your phone is 90%. I'm like, I don't know when the power will be off. And I think a lot of people here, when I tell them like we have constant power supply, they are really shocked. I think I just came. I told you I was in the village where my guardians are from, at Mbale, Bunesichi. I was there, and I remember
Yes.
like power went off, and like they called, the power supply people, and they were like talking, and they were like, "There's no power, what's wrong?" And the people they were apologizing. And that's even in the village. So I was like, "Wow, it can never be in my country." Like I know I say it, and then people start laughing.
What?
I was like, maybe things have.
It's
I'm
not
telling you,
possible.
because I was like, maybe things
Why
have
are you
changed.
calling? Calling
I
to
was
say
telling
what?
them, I was like, back home, I have never seen anybody calling and asking, we've not had power, what's happening? And they all laughed. So yeah, that was something I was really
Things have not
pleasantly
changed.
surprised.
Wow. Wow. I said I just need to take a moment to catch myself. Like, wow. East Africa. So what's their culture like?
Well, they are very diverse also in their culture. So what you would get here, because like you go to like when you go to maybe to the western part of Nigeria, western part of Uganda, they will tell you like for them they are very touchy, like they are physical touch people. So like you see like you get an elder hugging you and giving you a peg, you understand, and like showing you, like those for them it's like a culture for them, as opposed to when you come to like central here where I am, Bagandas I think they are called, and for them like you would see people kneeling just like how you would be like in Nigeria where you see the Yoruba people like are known to kneel. Yes, so it just depends on where you are. You understand what I mean? Like, but in general, I would say they are very big on partying here. They love to party. Oh, Ugandans can look for every reason to party. I think that's also very similar to Nigeria. So whether it's a burial or a wedding, like they are out. Like it's like a big event. Yes.
Yeah, I think actually weekend starts from Thursday.
Ah, yes. Oh, they are party people. Like, I remember when I came, I was so shocked by the amount of clubs I was seeing. Like every street has clubs and people are. I'm telling you, and I don't know, they are built different in that aspect because when I was in school, like literally, you see people that slept in the club and the next day they are going to class. I'm telling you, like, I don't know how they do it. I'm telling you, they're built different. Like, they are party people. When you want somebody to,
yeah, and I think they like karaoke too a lot. That was one thing.
Yeah.
I noticed too.
No, they love enjoyment. That's just the thing. Like they want to enjoy life. So that's it. They're very big on that.
That's nice. So what do Ugandans think about Nigerians, and how have you been treated as a Nigerian?
I would say, like, for me, I think being in Uganda has been like a blessing to me because for the most part, Ugandans like Nigerian. Like they watch our movies, they enjoy our music. Actually, they even know Nigerian music more than me. Sometimes they're asking me a question. I'm like, what? Who? So I'm like, I don't know who you're talking to. And they're like, you don't know this person. Or they'll even tell you like this recent song just came out. So honestly, when I came, yeah, and okay, they are generally very hospitable people. So when I came to Uganda, I never felt, a certain way. I felt really accepted. But they think every Nigerian has money, and so that is one thing that when you're trying to manage with what you have
money.
and you're like bargaining, that they hear your accents, they will tell you, but Nigerians have money and you're bargaining like
You have money.
exactly. So they think Nigerians have money.
Even if you have all the money in the world, why won't you bargain? Is that how they do
for
it?
them.
Once you have money, you just
For
pay.
a long time,
You
actually, I
bargain.
would actually go with a friend when I'm going to buy something. Like I would go with a friend. I will let her know what I want, and then she does the bargaining for me. So that's what I've been doing. And they also like for them Nigerians are loud. I think that's one of the things that you if you ask a Nigerian like Uganda, like they would say, oh, Nigerians are very loud. Uh, which
We're just
when you
lively.
okay when you sit next to them, yes, it looks that way
Mm-hmm.
because when we are talking as a group and people just and they're like, oh, they are Nigerian because you would not see a typical Ugandan talking that way. So I don't understand where that is coming from. And then also they have this thing of fraud. I remember a friend of mine told her mom, I think when I first came and she was like, she made a friend and she's Nigerian, and the mom was like, oh, just be careful. I heard that those people are fraudsters and they're very corrupt. And I felt really sad. Yes, I
Oh.
felt really sad about the whole thing. But that's just the reality that we have people here that do all that. But at least I'm very happy that at least the good outweighs, like the people that are doing good in Uganda that I have seen so far are way
Mm-hmm.
more than the people that are trying to mess up our reputation and our name. So yeah, that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
challenges that we have here. Like that image that they've had or they've probably even experienced also. Yeah.
So that's actually one of the major reasons why we're actually doing this series to
Hmm.
showcase to the world that we have Nigerians that are actually good Nigerians. They are in different countries legally.
Yeah.
They do legit business. They are good people. So all the whole negative narrative that is out there, we're trying to push the
Mm,
good and the real narrative and the positive narrative because we have a lot of Nigerians that are good
true.
people. So, as the little ones that are, bad eggs, as they are trying to spoil the name, we have the good ones saying, no, you can't bring down
True.
our name.
That's true.
Nigeria is a strong and a great nation. So we will get there.
Amen.
I know
We
we will
surely
get there.
will.
We
Yeah.
will definitely get there. Yeah, we will. Thank you so much
You
for
are
that. So,
welcome.
what do you like about living in Uganda?
Like I said, it's peaceful, security wise. Like we
Hmm.
don't have the issues of killing as much as you would have back home. Especially me coming from northern Nigeria, that we have issues of Boko Haram and kidnapping and all that. I think my mom like she always say like at least I can sleep well, knowing that you are safe where you are. Yeah, so
Oh.
I think that on its in itself like just gives me a lot of peace. And then the people are generally easygoing, and when you have easygoing people, things just work smoothly for you. You understand? Like they are not perfect, but like for the major
That's true.
parts. And then also, I would say the weather. I said it earlier. Like I love Ugandan weather. I think my skin is thriving with Ugandan weather because compared to back home, like I have actually seen a difference in how the weather, how my skin reacts to Nigerian weather and here in Uganda. So
Oh,
I really love their weather.
that's nice. So, what don't you like about living in Uganda?
Uh, I think they are very okay to me, and I think maybe it's the Nigerian in me, but I tend to feel like they can be
Okay.
slow at times because you know how in Nigeria we do things fast, fast, quick, quick, and you have these people that are trying to do
Yeah,
things on their own, time and
they take their
yes, and their
time.
own pay at their own pace. And I struggle with
Hmm.
that. Like I am not a patient person, so I have learned to keep quiet, but uh it's just killing me inside. Like it's just biting me in my head. I'm like, eh. Or sometimes you're in the bus. You know how when you're in the bus back home and then like your driver conductor is misbehaving. Like usually you'd hear Nigerians talk and they're like, "What is happening here?" They
Yeah.
don't do that here. So
Oh.
the driver will just be there and people are just there chilling, waiting for them, and you are just there boiling, but you can't talk because you don't want to look like the mad one. I'm like, people are not talking. So I think that's one of the things I just feel like I'm adjusting to it, but man, that's one thing I
For
struggle with.
7 years, you are still
And I'm
adjusting
still
to it.
adjusting to it, honestly speaking. Because sometimes I'm doing sometimes people are like, oh, you are so fast. And to me, I'm like, okay, but that's just a usual timing for me. And which I've heard that in other parts of East Africa can actually be worse. So I don't know. But like for me, I really struggle with
Wow.
that.
Okay, so what is Uganda famous for?
I would say tourism. Uh, yes,
Yeah.
they have like beautiful landscape. Especially recently, of recent years, they've been having a lot of tourist attraction. They have a Mount Renzori that has like snow, at the top. They have Mount Elgon. When I came to Uganda, I every year was traveling to different part of Uganda, just to be able to experience, yeah, to see different parts of Uganda, and just like they are so different. Like depending on where you are, you get to experience a very diverse and different culture, and just how they eat and what they do, how their lifestyle is in general. So tourism is like something that is big, and then I would say people is also like I've said it before, but they are very hospitable people. Coming to Uganda, I never had an issue with like not being feeling accepted. So yes, people is like something that's, I think I would say even their food also.
Interesting. So, what did you have to unlearn and relearn
Oh yeah,
living
I
in
think
Uganda?
not being judgmental, and then also I would say in the religious aspect, they are not so fanatic when it comes to religion. So you have like Christian Muslims living together, like being friends. There's no tension, I would say. Maybe because I'm from northern Nigeria, and maybe that's why like for me that was something that I really like observed. But like there's no tension, and then like really you have to mind your business, and they know how to set boundaries. I think that's one thing I would say. They know how to set boundaries, and that is something that I had to work on. Like you have to respect people's boundaries. I had to learn to really, really calm down. I realized, you know what, this is not Nigeria, and you have to learn to adjust to the way people do their things over here.
That's some good learning there. So, what are some weird laws in Uganda?
I wouldn't say they are weird laws, but like I heard that when it comes to decency, you can get arrested in Uganda for indecent dressing. I have never personally seen anyone that has been arrested for indecent dressing, but I heard that it's a thing.
Okay.
Like I've heard people say it's a thing, so I think that I would consider that weird. I don't know why. Maybe because I've never heard of anything like that, like as a law, official law in Nigeria. Like I said, for them, when I came, I would see people dressing in a certain way, and to me, I would be like, "Eh, what is happening here?" You get, but like for them, it's like other people are just moving around and just chilling. Like they don't say anything wrong with it, but I'm the one that's like freaking out internally. I'm like, is this person not ashamed with the way they are dressing? But and people around are just comfortable with it. So
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, what are the similarities between Nigeria and Uganda?
I would say food in the sense that they have cassava, they have sweet potatoes, they have rice, they have all those things. It's just the way they prepare it that is different from maybe how we would like prepare ours. They love the idea of celebration. And I think that's something that I've also noticed back home in Nigeria. We are people that love celebration. Like we enjoy, we want to celebrate, we want to, like show up. And they're also like that. And then like even when it comes to like they love like Nigerian music in general. So I think maybe that's why the celebration part kind of just goes along, and they're really into like a lot of them also watch like Nigerian movies. So yes, like in that aspect we do have like a lot. And honestly, I they are mixed people, and I know Nigeria because I think the only difference with us is that you know what, in Nigeria when you're cooking a goosey, you can have oporopo, you can have your now for them it's like if it's beef, you understand, if it happens. So it's just like if they're eating a specific food, it's just a specific food.
What are the success stories in Uganda that can be replicated in Nigeria?
I would say I think two things that I feel like I always complain about. It's power. They have like almost like constant power supply, and then their admission processing is like really not as stressful as it is for us back home. You know how in Nigeria you have to write, people write WAEC, then you write NECO, then you now write JAM. After JAM, you write post UTME. It's like a whole process. For them, you only have to write one exams, except for like certain programs, like if you're doing in a medical school, you want to go into medical school and it's and or law, depending on the university you're going to, you might have to write an exams before you get admission. But for the most part, as long as for them you are qualified and you apply and you have the money, you can get in.
Thank you for sharing. So, what can Ugandans learn from Nigerians? There are always two sides to a coin.
I think one of the things that they always talk about Nigerians is like, or maybe I wouldn't say Nigerians, but with me in personal, like people are always talking about, oh, you're ambitious, or how did you come up with this idea? You understand? Like, I think because they have a very laid back lifestyle, and you know how in Nigeria it's like people are trying to make it, trying to do this, trying to do that. So, like, I'm telling you, so exactly that hustling spirit. They are just really relaxed sometimes. Like I speak to people and it's like they don't really have much. Like, oh, I just want to finish school. And like I said, this my experience is subjective, probably because I'm in a school area. Like I came here to school. Like I'm not in the workforce yet, so I've not met people in that level. But in school, like I just feel like when you talk to like people from Nigeria as opposed to people from like you see someone that is like goal oriented, like trying to figure out a way to do something now, but they are comfortable with just being in school, finishing school, and then figuring out. And then maybe it has to do with their system because they have a system that doesn't stress them as much as Nigeria. Like Nigeria, you have to think ahead, eh? If not, you just suffer. So it's like maybe that's why it's easier for them. But like that's something that I have noticed. Like I feel like they can. And then the second thing should be like their entertainment. They're actually doing way better now. But I remember in 2015, you would hardly hear like Nigerians like really talking about their entertainment. But now I feel like there's an improvement whereby they are collaborating with people from other countries. So it feels good to me, but I feel like there's always room for improvement. So I'm looking forward to seeing Ugandan music go very international. Yeah, I would say in general, like the landscape is so beautiful. I keep saying it, even when you go to my YouTube channel, I keep talking about Ugandan landscape. It's so beautiful. I like their weather, and then they have like different places. So we have Mount Rwenzori that has like snow, or will I say ice at the top. We have Mount Elgon. We have is it Machinsum in northern Uganda, and then we also have Sipi Falls. We have the source of the Nile is also in Uganda. We have Victoria,
Lake Victoria.
Victoria what? Lake Victoria. Yeah, so it's like there is a lot to see, a lot to do. Like really, like as small as Uganda is, and it's landlocked, well, like you'll be shocked to see a lot of things. And I always tell people that you have to come to Uganda to understand why Uganda is called the Pearl of Africa, because it's literally something that you have to see for yourself and experience for
So
yourself.
speaking of Uganda, all these places that you've mentioned, they're places that are actually that I didn't visit. So the truth is, I definitely had to come back to Uganda. I was actually feeling fly with myself that I've been to places, but you mentioning these places, I'm like, okay, you've not even started, you've not even scratched the surface. So when I came, well, I actually came because I came to see. I had like it was probably like work stroke pleasure a work stroke pleasure trip. So I went to the prestigious Makerere University.
Okay.
I had meetings with them, yeah, because there was something that we were
yeah.
going to do at the time. And then after all of that work stuff and all of that, so I went to check out places. So I went to the masjid, that is the mosque in Kampala, and it was a nice experience. And there I learned that I think Ugandans, they really do not wear trousers, because there were some places that I went to that they told me how I can't go in with trousers. And I think is it the King's Palace too, where you have like yeah.
Oh yeah, no. When it comes to
What is
culture,
that culture about? Because I was like,
true.
okay, they don't wear trousers in Uganda.
Oh yeah, because I remember we went to somewhere. Was it in Fort Poto, or is it in Bali? I've forgotten. But I remember we went and we all had trouble because we were going hiking after that, and got into a palace. It's a trip that my school does for international students, and we got in and they were like, there were certain places we were not allowed to enter, even the palace, because we were putting on trousers. So yeah, like I think culturally, even in Nigeria, when you're going to like to visit a specific traditional ruler, there's a certain way that you're expected to dress. But like when you leave the cultural aspect and you go out, they're actually quite more open, I think, because they don't have, how we have deeper life, we have mountain of fire, we have certain denominations that are like keen on don't do it. They don't really have that like as much as we have. So there's like really it's not that bad, but like it's like you
Yes,
said, the
yes,
cultural
yeah.
aspect, and there are people that really
Yeah,
respect their
it
culture.
was
So
it was fascinating for me because I had to get this scarf that I bought, and I had to tie it around my trousers. It was, yeah, I would
tight,
actually
yeah.
like put some pictures, into this video that you will see. I do at a point because, well, I can get the mosque part where we went to the one that this the Lib- Libya, the form Gaddafi. Yeah, they said it was Gaddafi that actually dropped money to build that mosque.
Oh
It was
yes.
a very wonderful architectural masterpiece, and I had to get the scarf and
Yeah.
tie it around. So
Okay.
yeah, so I went there. So I went to another place. I went to was the place of the Mataya, where they killed a lot of yes. I
Oh
went there
yeah,
and I did the
exactly.
museum.
Yes.
I'm a lover of art and culture, so I did the museum and all of that, and then
Oh, that's
the whole India Amin story, because
oh yeah.
anytime you hear Uganda, it's India Amin that comes to your mind. Sorry, Ugandans, if you're watching this, it's just the truth. What you
Exactly.
hear, Uganda is
I
India
know,
Amin.
I know. That was why I started my channel, because I feel like people don't really have good information
That's
about
true.
Uganda, and there's so much beautiful thing than just Gaddafi. Like
India
Gaddafi
Amin,
cannot
actually,
just be
no
one thing that
Gaddafi.
people
Gaddafi
can
is Libya.
associate to Uganda. Yeah, sorry, Idi Amin. Sorry, Idi Amin, because that happened over 30 years, over 40 years ago. But like it's something that I think the media and people outside Uganda still associate to Uganda. So, and everybody has a past. Like every country, when you think of every country, we
That's
all
true.
have our dark history and our dark
That's
past.
true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for that. So, with all the spaces that you've mentioned, I am definitely coming back to Uganda. It's a must because I need to visit all these places.
please do.
Great.
We'll be
So,
waiting
what are
for
some
you.
of the tips and hacks that you need to know living in Uganda?
Yeah, like I said, you have to be patient with them. Yeah, really patient people. You, honestly, they like law-abiding people. Honestly speaking, so I feel like when you're coming to Uganda, it's something that you should be cautious of. Just do things the way you are seeing it done. Like don't try to do shortcuts. You know how we can be Nigerians are not the most patient people, and then also try and be open minded about coming to Uganda. Come with the intention to learn and educate yourself, not with the when you have this idea of, oh, my country is better, you understand, you don't really learn because you are just thinking about other aspect that really doesn't make sense. So come with that mindset of, I'm here to learn. What does Uganda have to offer me? What can I take back home? How can I better myself and also take it back home to better like my
Thank you
country?
so much for those tips and advice there. And those tips and hacks, they are very, 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 essential. And once you actually have that at the back of your mind, because that's what travel does to you. It opens your mind. You don't just go feeling that, you live.
True.
Because people that do not travel, they actually live in a bubble because they feel that their way of life is how every other person is living their life, which is wrong, you know. That's true. So thank you so much for coming on the show today and for sharing your experience with us.
You
This
are
is really, really
welcome.
heartfelt, and thank you for saying yes, to having this conversation. And I'd like to tell Nigerians outside, okay, great. So I'd like to tell Nigerians outside that, and every other person watching is the reason why we're doing this series is because we are changing the narrative. Because we have a lot of Nigerians living outside Nigeria and they are doing amazing. They are changing, the course of or the perception that people have about Nigerians, and they're actually, trailblazers and pioneers in whichever sector they are in. So Nigeria, once you hear Nigeria, it's not all about corruptions or some unprintable names. No, we are actually great, strong, brilliant people, and intellectual people and intelligent people. So if you're a Nigerian outside and you want to share your experience with us, you could actually contact us on swaggerslifestyle@gmail.com, and definitely would love to have this conversation with you. And also Nigerians living outside, ensure that you please keep flying our flag high, be law abiding wherever you are. Thank you so much, Chadley, for coming on the show. So in conclusion, what would be your advice to anyone that wants to relocate to Uganda?
I think do your research well so that you know what is bringing you here. And then I think you should just come with the just come because you build a family, honestly. So just come with that intention of, experiencing life. I think, yeah. But like, make sure you do your research. It's very important. What is bringing you to Uganda? Do you think that whatever you're coming to do in Uganda, you will thrive? Do you think you have a niche? You have a market for it? If it's school, if it's you want to apply for a job, whatever it might be, make sure you do
Wow.
your research.
That's profound. Thank you so very much. Till I come your way next time, this is Gbogbo Swagger and this is Swagger's Lifestyle. Do not forget to do what? Like, share, comment, and also share this with your network and people in the spheres of your influence. To every Nigerian living outside and even within Nigeria, ensure that you are good citizens, ensure that you are a good ambassador of this country, and keep doing what? Flying our flag so high. Niger to the world, one love. Take care. Gbogbo Swagger, Swagger's Lifestyle. Thank you.